Hi, it's me again. And today I want to talk about, maybe it's not going to be all about me, but it's going to be a bit about me, because, sometimes having a little bit of experience helps you talk about things. And so today, I just want to start off with saying thank you for everybody who's messaged me and said they enjoyed my video, or they've given me tips on what to improve. Just thank you. I'm at my dad's, so hence the kind of awful setup. I mean, the one that I had before was awful anyway, but this one's just not very good. Tried it outside, it was windy. Tried it in my bedroom. My dog came in. He's really cute, but he came in and started bouncing all over the bed and moving the camera because we're in a caravan. There's not really much. I don't even know if this is straight. And I know that's gonna bug me after. Right, that's as straight as it's getting. But yeah. So today I'm gonna be talking about positive mindset and personal growth. To just basically try and help you if you're not doing so great. No, in no way possible. I'm literally 16. Am I gonna be a professional in any of this? But from personal experience, I think it might help. So I just want to start off with what I've been through, just to give you a bit of background, and just explain that everybody has issues. I've been told by people that I'm one of the happiest people or the most positive people they've met, but just because I'm so positive and I'm so happy doesn't mean I don't get sad. I don't get lonely. I am quite lonely, actually, especially during lockdown. I think everybody's getting a bit that way, and it has made me appreciate my friends a lot more. I'm gonna keep moving this, I'm really sorry, but yeah, it's in lockdown as well, I've made some new friends. It's I've been able to talk to people, and yeah, this isn't gonna be professional at all, and I don't really care. But yeah, so with me, it was more that I had a few little issues that, more so, it'd be big issues that I would completely brush under the mat. I'd completely ignore them, just go on with my life as if nothing had happened, and then I'd make big deals out of little issues, which isn't important. Say stubbing my toe, that could set me off on a massive bawling spree, because I'm somebody who doesn't cry. Because I associated crying with being sad and being upset, I've kind of had to train myself, not on purpose, I trained myself to not cry. It's not a great coping mechanism. It's more a defense mechanism than anything, because I'm quite insecure, not so much in myself anymore. Physically, I feel quite confident, but mentally, I am so scared of not being accepted, of not being good enough, just general anxieties about my self-worth. And sometimes, for a long time, I felt like I had to depend on others to gratify that self-worth, which I don't need to, because nobody in this world is worth more than anybody else. No more, no less. Everybody is equal, and I stand by that. And because I stand by that, I need to put that on myself and realise that I am worth something. It's if you don't recognise what you are worth, then you will struggle with your confidence. You need to realise that you are just as important as anybody else around you. It doesn't matter if you're not as talented as them, or if you're not doing the same thing as everyone else. It doesn't matter if you're trendy, if you're not trendy, because at the end of the day, trends go on. You'll have your own talents, and the talent that person has, they probably put a lot of time into it, and time and dedication really does help, whether that's doing a sport or working on yourself. And another way you should think about it as well is that if you're not happy, you shouldn't expect happiness to come your way. And I say this because happiness shouldn't be expected 24/7. Like, I'm not happy 24/7. I know that I get upset and I get moody, just like anybody else does, especially when you're a teenager. Because so much is developing all at once, your hormones are going off the rails, there's stress. It's like we're under a lot of stress for our age, and even though adults might not realise this, that's because they're stressed as well, and they don't want to think that their children are more stressed than they are, if that makes any sense. And it's like, I say happiness shouldn't be expected because things like sadness should be expected, and you should be sad sometimes, because the way I think about it, if you are happy all the time, straight happiness, then you won't appreciate being happy. You won't appreciate the good times. They'll just be times, really. It's like you have bad times and issues and bad things in life which may seem negative, but if you think about it in a more positive way, so improve a positive mindset, you'll then realise that those bad times then highlight what's good in your life, and it makes you appreciate life more. And if you appreciate life and you appreciate the people around you, then life becomes a lot easier. And for crying, I'm not one to cry, but I got told by somebody that crying is the most natural thing you can do. Most babies come out the womb crying. If they have an issue, they cry. And when you're a baby, you're in your most natural state. You've got society isn't forming you. Your parents don't really have an influence on you when you're an infant and you can't talk. It's more obviously when they get older, but that doesn't even matter. Crying is one of the most natural things. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to feel, you need to do you've got loads of things that you need to do, but crying should be one of those things. Don't force yourself to cry. Don't make issues to cry. But if you feel like you need to cry, just do it. It doesn't matter if it's like, even if it's the smallest thing, because typically if you're crying over small issues, like tiny issues, then it usually means you've got bigger issues that you need to face. And if you can, face those as soon as possible, because I know how painful it is to see somebody's mental health like deplete or whatever, because I've experienced it myself. It hurts and it gets tiring and you're exhausted all the time. But if you face those issues, when you're having those issues, talk to somebody, talk to anyone. I'm sure even if you feel like your friends don't give the best advice, it's still good to get it out there, and it's still good to talk about it and get it out. Speaking about it really does make a difference, because if you share a problem, it means that you haven't got the pressure of thinking about it. And sometimes talking to somebody can rationalise your thoughts. And I know that saying, like, just think positive seems like such a cliche thing that you get told. But you get told it because it works. But I don't think people explain it very well, like, just think positive. No, there's ways you can do it, and it isn't just about you, it's about your outlook on life. So if it's like, listening to sad music all the time isn't going to make you any happier, right? I try not to listen to sad music because I know that makes me feel down, because if you're somebody who's influenced by music, it's going to influence you whether you like it or not. And as well as that, the way you approach things, if you approach things with a negative attitude, ready to be like, oh God, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, oh that's bad, that's not good. Like, if you're not willing to try things and you've got a closed mindset or whatever it is, then it's just, your life isn't going to be fun. And if you're not getting fun out of life, life is going to seem pointless. But you need to be happy, and sometimes you need to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, because you experience so much more when you just go with it. Your life doesn't have to be planned out perfectly. Something I did when I was trying to change my mindset from being quite negative to being more positive was seeing the good in every situation. Like I said before, you can't have good times without bad times. That's just like yin and yang. Like, I know that's not what it means, but like with everything that's bad, there's something good, and with everything that's good, there's something bad, because it needs to balance. It's like I think karma's real. And if you're putting negative energy out, you're going to get negative energy. And if you're putting positive energy out, you're going to receive positive energy. It's just an easier way to live if you're always thinking about the good. So, I can't really think of an example right now. But say, when it rains, right? Even though it's raining, it looks miserable. That's watering plants, that's giving animals water to drink. It does a lot of good for the environment, but also at the same time, when it's sunny, everybody's like, yeah, it's sunny, but people get sunburned, people get sick, plants dry out, and it's like those are two things that are both one's meant to be negative, one's meant to be positive. But if you look at the positives and the negative and the negative in things, then you'll be like, oh well, but this is positive as well, and that's negative, and it all balances out. Everything's got, it's like, what's the second law? I think it's the second law. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction, or whatever. I don't know. I failed physics. But yeah, like, anyway, I'm gonna stop going on about that, because the way it adds to your personal growth is immense. Because if you're confident, which does come, it's like, you might be a really shy person, you might be quite in your own shell, in your own world, which is fine, that's allowed, but you'll find if you feel more confident in yourself, not always, it doesn't even have to be physically, it doesn't have to be just like, oh god, this, that. If you're having good thoughts all the time, noticing the good in people, the good in the situation, it makes life a lot easier, as in, because let's be realistic, if you're happy, life runs a lot more smooth, and that's because you've got positive thoughts running around your head. Whereas when you're sad, you're always looking for the negatives. Now, if you allow this to be, whichever direction you go, whether it's sad, whether it's happy, life will follow that same track. And so that's why, if you're trying to grow yourself as a person and become a better person, being positive about everything you can really does support that. And sometimes I know it is hard to focus on yourself. I do it myself. I'm so scared that I'm going to be selfish if I focus on myself. But you're not being selfish unless you are negatively impacting someone. And if you think about it that way, then life will get easier. And sometimes you have to cut off toxic people. You have to grow up a bit. It is alright to cut people out of your life at this age. If you do not feel like that person is helping you be a better person, as in, it's like, it's a mutual friendship. It has to be a mutual friendship, because if somebody's just taking and taking and taking from you and not listening to you, then they aren't supporting your personal growth. Right? It sounds cliche. I know it does. But changing your mindset and just being happy is so much easier than you think. It isn't, it's like, I know that some people have depression and it is so much harder than just changing your mindset. But if you feel like you are going down that path and life's getting harder, especially in times where you're not seeing your friends as much, sometimes it is just easier to try and just change your mindset a little bit. I know I've gone on and I'm really, really sorry, but if you've got to this point, thank you, and I hope life gets a bit easier for you. And if your life's going good, I'm really glad for you. If you ever need to talk, anybody, anytime, message me, because I find that talking to people helps me feel better, because I get a bit of an ego boost from it. Anyway, stay safe. Be happy. This is my dog. Oh. Bye.